Right then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages, those in between or undecided, from the guys to the gals, including our non-binary pals, welcome to one of our few remaining I was about to say top 16, but it's week 6 matches of the Prime 2023 Randomizer tournament. I am the Ginger Chris, and I am joined by Baha Blood. How you doing, Baha?
Doing good. Looking forward to seeing these last couple matches of Swiss wrap up today, and then moving into the brackets. Gonna be some good matches to come.
Yeah. So the top 8 is not yet set in stone. There is a few games left that have a few implications potentially to the last few remaining spots there. So we're curious to see how these games go. But otherwise, this should be a fun one. Preset is fairly standard. Nothing changed from the week 6 preset if you're accustomed to that, outside of the fact that they are doing elevators anywhere, but we will be starting at landing site. And we have Spring Ball activated, which should be good fun. Now, joining us on tracking duty, we do have our lovely Uncle Reggie. He's doing all the button clickies, making sure all of the item pickups are tracked for our viewing pleasure. And we'll just be waiting for the restream to catch up and the runners to get going. So how have you found this preset, Baha, after completing your match the other day?
It's a good one. Getting your movement systems right off the bat, it's a interesting execution-focused kind of challenge. Routing still can be pretty important, but I think this is definitely a game mode that can favor folks with, speedrunning experience, especially like folks that run Hundo. I feel like this is a pretty good preset for them.
Yeah, movement. The fact that you start with space jump alone just goes to show that your movement needs to be extremely on point, and knowing how to move through the majority of these rooms that you don't generally have space jump for in the early game. So it's getting adjusted to that is quite an important thing for this preset. Plus you've got your boost ball, which I completely forgot I had boost ball in my race. Otherwise I would have been boosting all the way I could until I went to Shrine that I realised, oh hey, boost is lit up. I'm gonna use a boost.
There were several practices that I looked at the landing site item and said, oh wow, that looks important. I gotta come back here later. And I left even though you start with more ball.
And the runners are now off. So once the runners are in game, we'll get those synced up. But we will be starting off in landing site, as we said, and be progressing with the SJF space jump first.
I think most everyone's familiar with the preset, but yeah, we're looking at one missile launcher with giving all the missiles, one PB giving all the PBs, ton of energy tanks, but each one is only giving 25 max health, and we only start with 24 max health. Oh, hello, missiles.
A nice start there. It gives us access to our hints immediately. Now,
we can even do for your crash right off the bat here too.
Yeah. Now, the starting with 25 health or 24 health was the thing that I was not fully aware of. I didn't realise that's how it worked. So I walked into my first practice scene and went, oh dear.
Yeah, it is. We've had some ambitious folks doing random starts, and that seems, especially without starting with charge beam, because I at least, and I think a lot of other Prime Rando runners are very used to starting with charge beam, because we've always had that in our weekly presets. Yeah. So the combination of low health and no charge makes a lot of combat pretty spicy relative to what we're used to.
Especially one of the races early on the week where the runners started in Farfindrana, that definitely tested our combat prowess, or more their ability to hide behind a door.
Straight into Varia. That's really interesting. We don't even need to go to Bing Plaza yet.
It's hard to say because obviously we are working on elevators anywhere, so this could be expecting us to go immediately into Magma. We might not see a Plaza elevator immediately.
Oh, I sure didn't check their RAs. Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So Zeke's not yet checking hints. We'll see if Death King checks theirs when they make their way up through Artifact Temple. Oh! Right, no, never mind. The energy low sound will still play for a little bit because technically the runners have 50 health with that E-tank.
Yep.
Or 49, somewhere around there.
Yeah, Zeke probably thankful for that E-tank, otherwise we would be dead right now.
So Zeke not going for Frigate Crash Site. It doesn't look like Death King is either.
That's interesting. That check is perfectly in logic with a grapple beam. And indeed, a twin fires elevator. That's probably the answer, but I think Zeke gonna... We have Root Cave and Logic already. We have the item below and a check, so makes sense to do those first. I do agree with checking this elevator first, in case the lower one is what you want to actually end up taking, then you at least have this elevator information for later and don't need to backtrack.
Yeah, so...
Oh, but Death King, on the other hand, just gonna make the Magma play. Follow that Varia suit. Interesting play here. This is...
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, especially the fact that Root Cave and the Transport Tunnel items are both accessible here, and in Logic.
Yeah, and we're in Magmar with 45 health! 16 health! You gotta
This
be
is
careful
going to get
here.
very spicy. 11. That countdown
Fiery
is
Shores
going.
is an artifact. Hopefully this lower, it's the upper one, and this is still an E-tank. Nope. Artifact up here. Luckily the Magmars, when we kill them, pretty much give us a full E-tank back with
Yeah.
the red drop. Although we don't have charge to absorb it, so it's just chilling over the lava. There's not much we can do about that. That's actually really rude, too.
So Zeke finds another E-tank at the top of Root Cave. Oh, and down we go. The spikes was too much.
Yeah. Yeah, tricky start. Let's see if the runners have an alternative possible route here with this Root Cave elevator. They sure don't.
PTC. Nope, no thank you. Gonna turn right around there. We don't have Ice Beam, so we can't access it. And to be perfectly honest, walking in with 75 health or 100, probably not the best idea here.
Yeah, even Frigate Crash, I can't put that in logic, because, yeah, we need Ice Beam and Power Bombs to do anything there, and we only have the one available check. So yeah, Magmar has got to be the answer.
So Zeke most likely going to route to that Magma elevator. Has a lot more E to work with, so shouldn't be as dangerous for them. And Death King will just be retracing their steps, picking up their Varia suit and their hints. And here come the hints. Quarantine Monitor, Transport Tunnel A, Research Lab Aether. This is where I realise I haven't got a notepad. Fiery Shores, Gathering Hall, and Ice Ruins East. Now, all fairly easy artifact locations if we were not dealing with random elevators anywhere.
Thank you. I would never lie. Well, that's probably not true, but... Team Arverse Green on the mic, yep. Friends and co-coms until brackets, assuming our our reading of what's going to happen in the top 8 shakedown will be. Gives Zeke has any better time with this Fiery Shores climb here. Also takes a little bit of a dip in the lava, but has 2 extra E-tanks through clearing out that early Talon a bit more thoroughly. Yeah, both runners having a little bit of trouble with his standable here. No bombs to do the puzzle the vanilla way, so we do need to use the space jump standable technique here if we're going to get the item now. It's not necessarily the end of the world if we put this off till later. It's pretty close to our artifact temple, so it's not that slow to come back and get this later if we're having trouble. That looks like we're in business. So done.
Yeah, there we go. Artifact 1 collected.
So how many players are not using X-Ray for this client despite starting with it this week? I've seen this. I've seen this a bunch.
I know. I remember someone commented in my race that I wasn't using it, which, to be perfectly honest, like part of it is you just don't remember you've got it. With it being that early on.
I had to like. Oh gosh, the turrets are rough too. Take one hit and that's it. Taking this carefully, I very much like that. No health, thanks, game.
Yep. Missiles.
No health.
Missling print.
Game, we have 250 missiles. Please give us 10 more health. All right. We want to snipe. We can snipe that last turret down here. Yep, gonna do that.
Missed the jump. Need to be a little further along the platform there, I think, to jump to where they're trying to jump to. I'm not actually sure where CZeke is aiming. I think CZeke is potentially aiming.
I think you might be going for like the second stand level of the MSJ climb.
Yeah. I don't even know if you can do that from there immediately.
Seems plausible that it would work, but yeah, I've not really seen this climb, that version of this climb before. Health refill would be nice. No, but bombs are good
warrior
too.
Shrine.
All right.
So that gives us immediate access to this elevator coming up, and the artifact that is contained within.
Hopefully this will just go to Chozo and we get a bunch of easy checks down there.
Careful with the firing squad.
Oh dear. Oh gosh! Wow, that lava hurts.
Well, back to square one, I guess. Death King is now following up on the replay and gets that artifact here. We'll see if Death King can inch a little bit further forward here. Hope Death King remembers there is a turret squad here. And manages to make it through nicely. But has decided that not remembers about the other one.
Oh! Bumps into the puffer. Gotta watch the gas. Right. They're safe for now in this room. The somewhat annoying thing about the Warrior Shrine item is once we go pick it up, we'll hit the load trigger for Fiery Shores and then reload all these turrets into existence again. So you gotta be careful. I just want to stay to the top of the room when we... unfortunate there.
Locked on a little too late, and I think the dash ended up throwing them downwards.
Yeah, there's 56 E-tanks, so 4 times as many as normal, which actually ends up meaning you have slightly less max health if you get all the E-tanks, because you still only have the 100s, or the 25 starting health instead of 100. But you get pretty close to the normal max health if you run around grabbing every single E-tank in the universe, which is a lot of them.
It's not a bad decision, to be honest.
Yeah, I was finding, like in my seeds, I was probably stopping around 20. You can actually sort of get away with fewer E-tanks than normal, just because, like, the fact that you're going to run into them randomly means you get, like, health refills. And so, like, eventually, like, once you have, like, 17 E-tanks, like, the fact going up to 18 isn't really a big improvement, but it is a full health refill, which is pretty nice sometimes.
I think after a while in my race, I stopped picking them up unless they were like in front of me there and then kind of thing. So long as I get enough E-tanks to fill the entire meter, then I'm happy.
Okay, having more luck here in Transport Tunnel Lane, we'll be the first one to see this elevator here. Looking far and that's ice locked. This will unfortunately be an elevator ride of shame here. Where's Ice Beam? Or it could just be that we're meant to go all the way to the Lava Lake elevator. That did actually open up with the bombs as well at the same time.
Now, Zeke did just do Frigate Crash Site and picked up the item. I was not paying attention. So I'm not entirely too sure if they picked up anything of interest. Was I not tried? So Zeke is going to take the safety save here just to make sure that if they do lose more progress, then they've at least managed to reclaim their missiles, their Varia suit.
I like that play. Going all the way back into an out of Artifact Temple is pretty slow, so. And we know we've got a pretty dangerous segment coming up here in Magmor, especially if you're going to choose to skip these two E-tanks again. Looks like we're going to go for them. Which again, makes sense. Dying is slow, so even picking up these E-tanks is an investment. Oh no! Speaking of dying, I don't even see what happened there on Death King's side. I assume the monitor station turrets?
No, headbutted a puffer, tried to shoot the other puffers, and then walked into the puffer cloud afterwards.
Oh no.
Well, back to square one on this end. But this is part of the kind of the challenge of this preset is managing the initial low energy start of it.
Yeah, it's tough too, because you get behind like this and then you start feeling tempted to want to try to skip things like these E-tanks, but it might honestly just be faster to get this, make sure you're able to survive this Magmor trip, which is pretty dangerous with this low of health. And no charge beam to draw on pickups, which is another thing we're used to when we kill an enemy and it drops something over the lava. That's fine, but currently for these runners, that is not really great for them.
The chances are, if they were to try and jump out to grab a red pickup, they would lose equally just as much health trying to claim it. Because a little toe in the lava will still do a fair chunk of damage.
Yeah, I went back to like we know these Magmor artifacts are really close. So like if you're not confident with either that fiery shore climb or the transport tunnel bomb jumps, like putting them off really isn't a big deal here. See if both runners go for it again.
The TT one you could argue to push out a little bit as well, because we know. Well, at least Death Knight knows that, or Death King knows that it is an ice-locked elevator behind it. So could happily skip it until they find Ice Beam and then choose to go back and route into Chozo from there. Where Zeke probably will still go for it once they reclaim their bombs, because they haven't seen the elevator connection afterwards.
Alright, Zeke, the next one to attempt this dangerous segment here in Magmor. Hopefully ends up with more success this time. So far, so good.
Clears out the Magmor just to be safe. It's not a bad choice. Magmors do a fair chunk of damage if they manage to headbutt you. Artifact has been reclaimed. There's now movement onwards towards the bombs.
There was a couple drops there, which is good. Tops off our health again.
Now I wonder if Death King will also take a safety save now.
Back protecting these turrets. I appreciate this as well.
Puffer getting in the way of the lock on there.
Yeah. Okay, yep. We do get a safety save here from Deathking. I like this play.
The last of the turrets go down, so Zeke has just got to climb back up this room, reclaim their bombs, and then we should have forward progress. We've at least got a lot more health that if we do end up taking a bit of a lava dip again, we should be able to get it this time, but fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
Wow, that was a sick dash there, actually.
It is possible to have a lot of momentum where you actually bounce off the wall and fall down.
Oh no. Luckily that is not... Dashing too good is not a problem I usually have, for better or for worse.
I find it more that if I don't angle forward on the dash and I just like straight dash to the left, I'll bounce off the wall and just slide.
Good. The dangerous part anyways on Zeke's side.
Yeah.
Attack number 2.
Success. And also, oh, they have Spring Ball as well. Ah, could have been using Spring Ball to have saved themselves.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that definitely reduces the risk here. Alright, Zeke correctly identifying the elevator. Won't have to take the ride up and down. We'll be a couple rooms ahead here. Probably not feeling ahead, but actually we'll be... Oh boy. Yellow one through monitor station. Takes the turret shot to the back. Not the end of the world here. We do have still a decent amount of health left.
Let's be careful of the puffer alleyway here. It's not common for puffers to do a lot of damage, but when you only have 25 E per energy for E tanks, that is a lot of damage that will do over the course of that kind of passing through the cloud.
Death King, actually, I didn't realize this at the time, but Death King is taking this more aggressively after the early death. Did not go back up to Root Cave area for those 2 extra E-tanks, so he's doing this Magmorph segment with 50 health. That did save some time here, allow him to catch a bit on Zeke, but he'll have to be extra careful here as he tries to get to the lava lake entrance here. But even with the much later full reset, Death King's still really not that far behind here. Only a few rooms in Magmar at this point.
So Zeke did check the Triclops pit, but wasn't interested in what was there. But does find another energy tank and storage cavern, so this is going to be a nice wee top up.
Yep, we'll take that. Yes, please.
Oh, this isn't good.
Ah, there's some nice drops for Death King there. Death King gonna put off the artifact till later. We'll probably end up routing through there at some point anyways if we find icing at the mid Chozo, or if we find ice over here and want to go into the back of Chozo with it. So I like the delay in picking up that artifact for now.
So Zeke will be making their way towards Lava Lake for the final accessible item on this path. And it's just a Metroid and Triclops pit. I see.
King will be pretty happy to find a new tank here in Triclops pit. Oh, we have Lava Lake. Other nothing. Magmar, not really anything too interesting check-wise. We did get our bombs out of here. Really just a highway to this elevator, which presumably is going to take us to Sun Tower or Main Plaza. I guess Shorelines is possible too.
Or anywhere in amongst those. It's not elevator connections, remember?
Not elevator. Are you sure? Because we're 3 for 3 at...
That's a good point, yeah. Let me double check something.
Another good save. I like the safety save a lot here from Zeke. Don't need to repeat this early Magmore segment anymore.
No, you're correct. It is random two-way elevators. I misread it. So yeah, Death King isn't too far behind, which is good.
Yeah, still a relatively tight race here. Zeke does have the advantage of having picked up. I don't think Death King's at 2 artifacts.
Is it 1 currently? Yeah, because they never went back for the TTA one.
Yep. 1 artifact, a couple E-tanks, and a couple of rooms. But all things considered, that is definitely something that you can make up over the course of the seed. We still have a lot of this to play yet. I haven't really found many majors.
And it's the other side of Reflecting Pool. Okay. Camera's been uncooperative here.
Yeah, from here we have pretty much all of Chozo and Logic. Don't need any beams to get back into early Chozo if you start over here.
That was close, Zeke. Almost walked in. Could have got themselves locked in the freezer.
Locked in a room with a Metroid. We will get to do a fun 100-shot ghost fight here. We'll lock the doors.
At least we have X-ray, but the lemon spam here is not very fun.
Nope.
And the thing is, that even though it's like 100 pellets you need to shoot, not all of them are going to connect. Especially how dodgy the ghost can be, weaving in and out.
Life gives you lemon, shoot them at ghosts. I agree.
Be an interesting take on Ghostbusters. But no, gets through the ghost quite nicely. It's going from the bomb slot, which I'm not entirely too sure as to why we can't do anything with these bomb slots at the moment. Don't have ice or plasma.
I might just be thinking to activate them for later, but yeah, there's a chance that we never come back to this room, so I think it does make a little bit of sense to just wait in case you come back and then activate them then. Because you don't actually know for sure that that's going to be a future time save. Is that a suit up there?
Thinking that or a Metroid? Or is that another E-tank?
Maybe it was an E-tank.
And over the bars. Presumably it's an E-tank if Zeke is not going for it a second time.
Yeah.
Now, the downside to these elevators being the way they are is... Well, I guess we've not activated all the ghost layers at the moment because we didn't do the bomb slot puzzle. But I can't see what that is. I think that is our energy tank as well, maybe?
But yeah, I do think we will have to deal with the bad layers in Arboretum, Ruin Shrine, those kinds of rooms. Do get triggered just by the initial ghost fight. The E-tank is nice here. Lower furnace. So you gotta look at the upper. I didn't really get to see it that well, but was not interested. I'm also gonna try for this E-tank here. Yeah, I totally get it. Really want to get yourself to some reasonable amount of maximum health as quickly as possible to make sure things don't go off the rails for you. It's a little early there. You wanna have minimum vertical velocity when you are at the height. So you want to either jump when you're right at the height or hit the peak of your jump when you're right at that height.
Zeke heading into Zoid here. We can access both checks here, so definitely worth doing. And thankfully, due to us having to route from back to front Chozo, I don't necessarily think we need to do the puzzle here. I think we can skip it and just take an elevator down this way eventually.
Yeah, probably. If we find Ice Beam back here, it's a little bit annoying, because then you have to check back in Hall of Elders that you're somewhat interested in, but pretty much anything else I expect. Taking one of these front elevators. Death King trying to do this climb here in Upper Furnace, where it was an E-Tank up here. We'll get Death King finally to the 100 health that you normally have as a starting item. I'm going to jump up here. You can actually just jump straight to the track from here, which is probably a little bit easier than I think what Death King is going for.
I'm unsure if Death King is forgetting that they actually have Spider for this. But guess the...
Wow. Nicely done.
The bomb drop in anyway.
Yeah, you might be right there.
When a Zoid is an E-Tank and a flamethrower was found behind. But yeah, definitely filling up on these tanks, which is good for the late game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're not guaranteed to get all 3 suits. We are on progressive suit damage reduction here, so 2 suits will give us 20%. Gravity suit isn't always something runners will find, so more E is always welcome.
Death King gonna opt to get Zoid out of the way now too. We get a free artifact here and gather it all on Zeke's end. Watery Hall, a very dense item location, actually with all the equipment to get the 2 dynamo items first pass. One of the nice little things of the starting Spider Ball, never isolating that check.
First check was just a Metroid. We've seen a fair few Metroids at this point. I think we're starting to exhaust them at least.
I think there's 20 or so, 20, between 20 and 25, I think, in the pool.
Okay, so there's actually still a fair few. So I think we've seen like, what, maybe 7, 8 of them?
RE, we'll take that on the way out. Nice little refill before dipping into the poison water. We're going to check the lower item. Nice tip taught to me by our tracker Reggie is if you've got thermal visor, you can get a pretty good look at that watery hull item really quick. Much faster than scanning it. Nice early supers. The nice thing about supers is whenever they got placed with charge beam. In this preset pretty much. So charge beam is probably lurking around here in early Chozo as well.
No, that does put in some suspicions though. Supers in Chozo either means...
Very careful here. The health looks friendlier than it is. We don't have a ton of attempts at this. And Zeke did not take a save beforehand. He gets it, has an E-Tank still to spare to get out, so we are in business here. Nicely done, Zeke. Wave beam, really, actually, this is good timing to find that wave beam. Now we can check the training chamber area items as well as Tower of Light when we get over there. No need to backtrack for those checks later.
Yep. We'll have access to the tree hopefully soon, and potentially reverse flagra as well.
Death King will have a slightly harder time with that. Is down 2 E-Tanks relative to Zeke, just skipping those root cave ones. So we'll have a tighter window of time to attempt that trick if he goes for it.
But is taking the safety save just in case.
Yep, I like this. So now it's a lot less risky to go for it.
Zeke is just going to run past the ghosts, not going to bother with them. We'll be heading towards training chamber.
Yep.
We do have X-ray here, so we can at least peek what is behind the wall.
Zeke didn't look at the fountain item at all. Hopefully he remembers to take a peek on the way out. I've definitely fallen into that mistake where once I've been in that room once, I assume I've seen the item, and if I can't remember what it is, I assume it was trash. So that can bite you if you don't look at the item the first time in the room sometimes, depending on how your rando brain works, if it's like mine. Peek here. Hello. What? Oh, that's an E tank.
Just an E. Just an E, yeah. So double E tank at the training chamber area with a Metroid behind the wall, so we never need to come back here. And yes, hopefully we do a visual check on the fountain item. We can get it with a series of standables, if the runners so choose. And it's another Metroid by the looks of it.
Yep. I'm gonna spot this wave beam here, see if they go straight for it.
Top tip, the tunnel that Zeke is just leaving, if you're looking to refill your power bombs, you will get a fair chunk of power bombs in that room from the scarabs. They have a high drop rate.
Scarabs are an excellent source of power bombs. We do have X-ray. Zeke forgetting that fact, unfortunately. Oh, gets the cameraman at first time, though. Yep, E-tank there. Nicely done. Oh, Death King. Okay, so Death King farming health is going to go for this wave beam now, which makes sense. We do want it now if we're all comfortable with this slope jump. Not the easiest, especially when you're under that time pressure of the health draining.
So gets it first one.
Nicely done. Chozo loading us up with E-tanks.
Yeah.
Not going to be in too much more danger.
Oh, we're getting
Beetle and
beetles.
It's party here.
Using wave beam just to light up the room so we can see where we're going. I don't think Zeke has gone for the upper item just yet. Yeah, and here we go.
Got the ramp. More
Third E tank.
Hopefully the ghost doesn't shoot us down here.
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me. Oh, okay, we're good.
Alright. A moment to breathe. We are past the ghost layer for the time being. At least on the way back, we can just jump past them.
Hit the fun tower of light climb. Looks like Zeke's gonna go for do at least the first layer, get the cutscene to show us what's up top. We have loads and loads and loads of missiles for this, so no danger of running out. What do we got?
And so we
Nice tried.
Mwah, mwah.
So, no need to climb the rest of the way. Tower chamber, not in logic, but a relatively straightforward underwater slope jump will get us up there. Well, Death King pretty much following exactly in Zeke's footsteps. Makes sense. He feels pretty linear from here. You're not really going to want to be skipping these checks and Chozo's pretty dense. A lot of these checks are pretty easy. And we're still hunting for a lot of beams and seats. And again, I think the charge beam is lurking around here somewhere. Would not surprise me at all if we found it in the high mecha loop.
I'm still expecting us to find ice beam somewhere though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It could be somewhat late. Like if we have a shorelines elevator here in either Sun Tower or Queen Plaza, we have a lot of Fen available. Mm. Actually, if we get either Fen elevator, we have good chunk of that. Oh, you were correct. Ice beam spotted for Death King on Vault Ledge.
Very nice.
Randomania making me eat my words as it likes to do. See, something we like in Vault. I didn't catch a good glimpse at it. More E, okay, yep.
So Zeke going to check this elevator. Hopefully this is just a check and not a let's jump in.
I hate main core elevators because there is one check in logic there right now. So like in Zeke's shoes, that could be Ice Beam if he hasn't already seen it on Voltage there. Zeke, I think, seems to be more comfortable with the E now. Oh no, he's going. Okay, I see. Just didn't want to do the slope jump at first. I'm just going to do the jump from the higher ground.
Now, for those watching at home, even though we have now ticked off the 14 E-tanks on the HUD, we still will be accumulating E-tanks. So each of these E-tanks on the HUD itself will show us 20 or be a 25 health increment, but we can go above the 14. So if the runner so choose, they could collect all 56 energy tanks in the pool. We will only see 14 of those energy tanks on the HUD.
Yeah, and 14 E-tanks is only isn't even as good as having 4 E-tanks in normal, so would not surprise me if we do want to go above 14 here. Oh, hello, charge beam.
Anybody up for some plant?
Oh boy. Yeah, it's a lot less bad now with charge and supers. Getting ghosts in logic with as much as we can. After all this, we're pretty much synced up. Zeke has done the Tower of Light and Shrine area. Death King came straight here first. Does have a few extra checks done that Death King may clean up here in the near future. Now, Death King must have seen where the Sun Tower elevator went, but I missed that. We'll get another look here on Zeke's end in just a moment.
Okay, I'm going to check the tree because they haven't visually checked it yet. Get another E-tank. Both players are now nicely filled up. And we'll get another spot of this elevator here from Zeke's side.
And Zeke will have to loop around to vault, grab that ice beam from the vault edge. Great tree lower. Interesting. There's only one check we can do there, but there is another elevator.
No, we can do... Oh, no, we can't do Life Grove. We don't have power bombs. Power bombs could just be there, though.
True, yep. But ice opens up... Actually, not that much of mines either without power bombs. So, yeah, power bombs really what we're on the hunt for. Although, if we can find a Fendrana elevator, that's a ton of checks available to us there. So Upper Tree Hall is a good elevator check. We now have access to the workstation save elevator in Magmore. So that's another option where Fen could be. We could also save warp, do a out of logic frigate crash site climb if we assume that the other way into Fen is available and we find a Fen elevator up there. That's a nice way to kind of sequence break into the area of the game you wanted to go to anyways.
So... Yeah, so thinking about this at the moment, there is I think it's a 50-50% chance that Upper Great Tree Hall is a Fen elevator, because the only other elevators we've not seen are Frigate Crash Site, the 2 Fen elevators, and the 2 Far Magmoor elevators. And we know that Magmoor can't look to Magmoor and Fen can't look to Fen.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a high possibility that we could find our Fen here, but we could also just end up going back to Magmoor. You know, it does look like Zeke is going to do the reverse plant fight here. I like this, but at the same time, as a runner, I don't like having to do this. The fact that this is so easily in logic, it just feels like a bait, but it's also one of those baits you don't want to leave out.
Yeah, I would probably be skipping this, unless I'm feeling generally ahead, either based on execution or routing. This is a pretty slow check, and like assuming that the elevators are playing at least somewhat nice, I know most of Fen is in logic, and that's where I want to go. chasing that ice beam. But we did at the same time as we got the ice beam, the supers and charge showed up, so you never know. Could be going into this instead.
Yeah, it's the suspiciousness of charge and supers dropping so close to Flagra that makes me kind of worry on this kind of check.
Came a little bit of trouble on this slope jump is using the side of the wall to get the tower chamber. I think this is much easier if you use the just going forwards. Let's get it off the side. So you done? Not gonna. We're done with E-tanks, I guess. Not even gonna take a couple steps for one anymore. Oh, maybe that thing isn't aware that you can go above 14 actually.
Ah.
Because that thing is now up to 14.
CZeke is now 2/4 of the way through dealing with the sleepy plant.
Unfortunately, no power bombs to try to go for the doubles. This overlaps some of the cutscenes here. At least we don't have to deal with any of the nonsense of the fight itself.
Death King will see the Metroid at the top of Tower of Light and will just leave. Now, will Death King opt to do plant or will Death King decide to push forward?
Yeah, definitely choices here. I mean, we could take a peek into upper mines here. There are a few checks we have available to us even without power bombs. Now that we have wave and ice. Power bombs could just be in mines. You would prefer to have power bombs just because you're leaving a bunch of checks behind, but they were there in vanilla. Could be there again.
And it does look like Death King is going to go. Yep, going to go into the main quarry one, check the main quarry item here. And it is just a nothing on plants. Yep, this is the worry. You commit to plant, you commit to all of that time, and just get rewarded with absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's fine, might as well do the ghosts as well though. They are relatively quick relative to Flagra. So with charge supers X-ray. But yeah, I like this play. I like this dip into mines here from Death King. If power bombs are in mines, this is like your only good opportunity to get them because we can't come in through PPC even though we have close access to the PPC elevator because that's power bomb locked. And it's a long trek through Magmore then Chozo to get back here from Save Warp. So if we ever get far away from this, we're not really coming back here easily.
Yeah. And we have two items easily accessible to us with the Security Depot B and the main quarry one. We could choose to go further down. It's a little bit risky doing so.
Yeah, I don't even hate making the Sendina play and then just save warping from there. We're back in Talon. We have ice. We can go check like the FTS elevator, see if we can get defend that way. And then we know that we haven't missed PBs here, which is the thing that would really make this seed hard to route.
Yep, so plant is a bait. Looks like Zeke is choosing to go back out the rear entrance to Sun Tower, which might suggest he's going to go into the Great Tree Hall elevator.
Forgoing the chance to peek, so we don't have power bombs for security access A, but you can get a little bit of a look at that item through the crate. We're not going to get that visual check here on the King's side. Another play we could do is do the reverse boost through the rubble and get the upper item in Elite Research. Can't do the lower again without power bombs, but there's at least what? Did we aggro the Ivan somehow? Ivan, please.
I guess we did. Did Death King decide to give him a wee nudge, a wee kiss on the cheek? Body check diving. Oh no.
Oh, and down.
Up, and we've dropped all the way down, and now we're going to be potentially saying hello to Biggs and Wedge. But no, we're just going to try and jump
Big's
away.
chilling right now. Their fight trigger is closer to the door.
Yeah, so Zeke is in Great Tree Hall here, so we will be checking the chamber item, and then going to check to see what the elevator is. If I was going to bet, I personally would bet that this is going to be our power bombs, just because of how close it is to Life Grove itself, and if Life Grove was to have something, it kind of makes sense this is where we would place it.
My money's still on Fendrana being the answer. How we get there, I'm not exactly sure. This is a good opportunity. Otherwise, workstation save is also a possible way into Flagra, or into Fendrana. Wow. Oh no, just nothing in Great Tree Chamber. So no items here, but at least we've opened up bars. Not gonna worry about bar skip later. And let's see if we can finally get our Fendrana access. We can.
Here we go.
That's a load of checks available to us. So this is now very interesting in terms of the routing divergence. It's also plausible that Death King's in the right spot here in Mines. We will see which answer pays out here. Looks like Death King also skipping the upper elite research check. That is in logic. So I kind of would have liked to see that. If you're comfortable with that clip through objects, maybe just as thinking I'm going to put off the rest of that upper mines loop until I can actually get more of the checks. But like I was kind of saying, this area is so hard to get back to. I really don't want to tolerate any risk of missing power bombs here.
Now, I do like Zeke's kind of pathing here, finding Fen, primarily because we have two artifacts accessible to us. We have Ice Ruins East and Lab Aether, both in logic. So pushing on towards this is actually really good for us, and we do also have Quarantine Monitor, so we have the tools to go in and do Thardis and get our 6th artifact, so this actually makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Another E in the lighthouse, maybe? Can't quite tell.
I think so, yeah. Going to go for it.
Yep, Death King can't go into PPC, no power bombs to get through maintenance tunnel. So down towards Sendina we go. And at this point, yeah, we're pretty much committed to just save warping out of Central Dynamo. The actual MQA check is also going to be only a visual one if we even decide to head all the way down there without power bombs. Our health is not great. We're sitting around, what, 2 E-tanks right now?
Just above, yeah, just above 2 tanks. Looks like a Metroid behind the fan, though it does look like a really cool red Metroid. It looks all of it.
I do really enjoy the nothing decks that's been put together. there's some really good, interesting Metroids in there.
So yeah, mine's extremely dangerous on the 2E tanks, one suit that effectively we're working with here.
Yeah,
thankfully we do
take
have
this room
charge
slow. Yeah, I like taking this room slow. Kill these wave pirates, we can sunlock them, we can super the power pirates from the upper level as well. We have loads of missiles to work with, so we're not in any danger of ever running out.
If you are accustomed to it and you do want to avoid trying to fight these guys, you can just YOLO jump all the way down to the door. If you morph on top of the door after activating it, you basically decrease your body profile, and it makes it a little harder for the pirates to shoot you. It makes getting out a little easier.
We're through. No plasma means no elite pirate at least, so we just have to do the drone and the maze. About 150 health to do it.
Not
X-ray and a
to see what
super.
it is.
Yeah, well at this point I think we're just doing
Nice
the maze
structure.
and save warping, no matter what.
Yeah.
The walk out of here is too painful.
But that was a really nice trick shot there. The super bounced off the shield but wrapped around and hit it on the arse.
That's pretty cool. I didn't get a look if Zeke already peeked the ice locked item in Shorelines. There'll be another one here.
Shorelines was an E-tank.
Okay.
We did get to see that one. So one of these two checks is our artifact. That is the nice, easy one.
That's nice. Not need to backtrack here later. Unless this is something good, I guess. You never know. But just Morty. Death King survives the maze. Mazes can be surprisingly deadly if you let yourself get wedged in the electric fields there. Gets through safely and is free to save and or save warp. We could make the visual check from MQA. Kind of nice to have that knowledge out of the way in case like you do find power bombs later and you're starting to wonder if we have a, that jerk plasma location down there. But I'm pretty okay with this. We have so much else to do right now that I'm not actively worrying about that plasma now.
Yeah, so it looks like we're getting a little bit of interference on Zeke's stream here. It's starting to become a little bit of a PowerPoint slide. Bear with us on that one. Hopefully,
yeah, I'm stupid. Yeah, of course. We're not checking MQA because we cannot destroy the power bomb rubble in front of the door. Just leave Santana. Absolutely right. I worry a little bit about missing up early research. That could have been the intended next progression here.
Yeah, it's
more likely than that.
Logic as well.
Yeah.
Now the thing that I can never remember is whether the wall boost the boosting through the wall is in beginner preset or not.
It is. It did not used to be. So even in like our current weekly presets, it's not in. But that was added as a new beginner trick for this tournament, and probably will continue to be moving forwards.
Yeah.
I think. Wait, is Arboretum isn't beginner? I would have assumed that one was beginner as well. But that one's like so uncommon to be like. How are you there without bombs? Although actually, maybe the bomb jump is higher than beginner.
I remember there being an inconsistency in the database for the Arboretum.
Oh no, that you hate. Oh no, it's Phazon. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
That's good.
I thought that was going to be gravity there, and then you're instantly forced with a very uncomfortable choice whether to turn right around for frigate. That's an excellent find for Death King, though.
Yeah, no, the last time I looked at the database, and I remember speaking to Toaster Party on it, is that there's a bit of an inconsistency with the Arboretum tricks going one way and going the other way. I believe it is considered beginner to get over the gate to go into plant, but it was considered intermediate to do the bomb jump back over. Even though I feel that the bomb jump isn't more difficult.
Yeah, it's different.
And I don't remember the boost.
Yeah.
like it's a little bit finicky because the camera gets a little wobbly. But there's
getting
no
the height
punishment.
going forwards is harder, but you get extra punished for getting stuck in the kind of sticky one-sided collision going backwards.
But yeah, I can't remember what the situation is with the boost clip. I can't remember if that's considered beginner for that or if it's probably intermediate knowing.
So it looks like, I think, FCS went to workstation 3, which is kind of the worst case possibility for Death King there. I assume is also hoping to find Fendrana. Now we could take this Twin Fires elevator and then head back to save, and then Death King at this point knows that every unchecked elevator goes to Fendrana at this point.
Yeah, because I guess what that should suggest is that workstation save station is the quarantine monitor elevator, I believe. I think that's the only pair that we haven't seen yet. Zeke going into Thardus here. We do know there's an artifact behind Thardus and quarantine monitor.
Good to get this out of the way.
So the Flagrat Arboretum boost clip is beginner. Though I think that only ever matters in random start, because I think in the beginner preset you're always expected to go through flagger from the front.
Yeah, or you're just like expected to have bombs if you're up there, unless you have a. It's like one-way elevators and random starts that can put you in that situation.
Yeah.
And same with like the dynamo, like you're never going to be there without having lowered the scan gate normally. But
yeah, I don't think there's ever a routing expectation where the generator will route you up Sun Tower into flagger normally, do ghosts, and then just clip out. I think you're always expected to go in the front door. So I think that boost clip.
Maybe in Door Rando that is a thing. Like if you get a weird, like a troll door, like from Main Plaza towards Arboretum, and like that's your way into Showzone, that actually could be a thing. That's actually really rude, if so. But yeah, outside of Door Rando, I don't really see how that could happen.
Death King is making their way through Far Magma. At this point, I think Death King is very comfortable in the gamble here, because I'm pretty sure this either has to go to one of the two Fen elevators from his perspective. I think he's seen all of the possible connections. The only one he's not seen is Upper Great Tree Hall and the two Fen elevators, and we know that Great Tree Hall can't go to Great Tree Hall, so I think this makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, I like this play. Yeah, I mean, ideally, the FCS play would have worked for him, which is like why I kind of like that Mines routing, is because it's able to give you a pretty good chance of at least of sequence breaking into Fen, which is probably available some other way. Fortunately, it didn't pay out, but we get to do these couple extra checks in Far Magmore along the way, and at this point, yeah, we know we can where we're going to be looking for this progression to finally turn up. It's been kind of a slow, like 15-20 minutes here. I haven't really finding much besides that. I mean, that Phazon suit pickup is pretty huge for Death King, but honestly, if CZeke gets the Phazon suit hit, that's probably literally the first place he goes to look for it. So.
Yeah, at this stage, when you go back for the hint, it tells you that your Phazon suit is in Talon. At landing site, you do Frigate Crash Site climb, you route through Frigate itself if you have Gravity Suit or if you're comfortable with techniques for it, and then go do Life Growth. But you will just stumble into Phazon as a result of that. Mm-hmm. And to be perfectly honest, if ZekeE is going to do this like Fendrana kind of loop and whatnot, might pass down the quarantine elevator and stumble straight into Phazon suit enemy.
Yeah, it's possible. Although we need power bombs to show up here in Fen before ZekeE takes that elevator. But yeah, if ZekeE comes down into Workstation with power bombs, I would not be surprised if he takes that elevator.
Ice spreader. Has ice spreader.
Amazing.
Nice.
Alright, no luck in the Far Magmore checks for Death King. E in Workstation, nothing in Plasma Processing.
So what is it we need power bombs for that I'm forgetting? Because if ZekeE does his labs play, gets his artifact in Aether, and then takes the elevator, there's nothing powerbomb locking him to get the Phazon suit.
True. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if Plasma's not PB locked, then we just might not need PBs this seed.
And when you're in Plasma Hunt, it's not the worst. It's better than being an Ice Beam Hunt.
Yeah, Lower Mine's already pretty much dead. Anything we're looking for at this point can't be there. Unless, like, Gravity's there, I guess, and the runners aren't comfortable with Grappler's Frigate. ZekeE gonna take this elevator, at least go check the Workstation item. We'll see if he could take this all the way to Plasma Processing here as well while he's at it. I would expect him to turn around at that point, but he could stay in Magmore if he wanted it as well.
Okay, right. Now I'm confused. Where does Frigate Crash Site elevator go to? Because I thought it was this connector, but it's not.
FCS went to Debris.
Debris, right. I thought we saw Debris already. No, that's what it is. I'm thinking of Reflecting Pool Ice Locked one, which we saw earlier.
No vanilla PBs. Death King's already done all but one check in mines that aren't PB locked. The only place PBs still could be in mines is Upper Elite Research, which would be a very annoying place for them. Zeke taking a bio break here. Should be back momentarily.
Not Troid and Frost Cave.
It's nice. The Hunter Metroid has a friend.
Protecting his buddy.
Well, speaking of, where is the Hunter Metroid? Did Death King kill it and I didn't see it? I never saw it spawn. Is there some layer nonsense going on?
I don't think so, because the only layer change that I'm aware of spawns pirates.
Yeah.
So he must have just walked in and bopped it. We just didn't notice. Now, Ice Beam on these flying pirates is the worst thing to deal with here, because they are very agile and will dodge regularly. I would just spam missiles on this. Just go blam, 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 get them out of the way, and your goods gold.
Yeah, you get a decent opportunity to Ice Beam them when they are launching their missiles, because they don't attempt to dodge at that point. But yeah, rather than waiting for that, the missile spam is a pretty quick way to take them down. Especially when you're sitting on 180-something missiles, you can afford to spend a few. Are you going to take a save here? Is this going to be a save orb, or are we going to head back and finish up our fence checks? Yeah, we are going to finish off. Okay.
Considering we have an artifact, our last artifact, in Lab Aether, I would be very scared of that save work.
Pure nothing. Mash. Death King really not finding much progression in these last whole bunch of checks here. I guess that's true on both sides. Shorelines was pretty barren as well.
Yeah.
Where is our progression?
I guess, to be honest, there is only like 10 progression items in the pool. So it is going to be...
True, yeah.
really difficult finding it.
Start with so dang much. And we got the Wave and Ice, which are the two that really unlock so much of the seed once you have space jumping bombs.
I forget, there's a grapple point there.
Yeah, there was a while before I was like super consistent at that dash where my strat would always be to missile the thing and immediately go for the scan dash rather than waiting for it to fall, so that if I failed the scan dash, I at least had the grapple point as a backup for the second time.
Plasma cannot be the upper item here, but it can be in the drink. And it is in the drink.
It's in the drink, alright. How is our gravity escape? The King is going to go for it.
So this is very good for Death King, because from here, with all beams and phase on suit, Death King just needs to slope jump their way out of here and onwards to artifacts.
Yeah, that's go mode for Death King then.
Yep.
For Tunnel A, Research Lab Aether, Ice Ruins East. None of those are PB locked. So yeah, all of a sudden, Death King in a really good situation here. And meanwhile, Zeke is doing back reverse labs first, rather than the far fen loop. So is going to miss this plasma beam as well. So suddenly, yeah, this race has really turned around here for Death King. Now, possibly Zeke will turn around and just as interested in this Aether artifact, and then we'll do the far fen loop. That could be a play if you're looking to kind of skip these labs checks. Labs isn't the most dense area in fen, especially when you get the 3 items really close to the back here. Could be a bit unusual of a play, but possible. That's what Zeke is thinking.
So Death King will need to do a series of tricky slope jumps. To be perfectly honest, this slope jump that he's currently doing is the hardest of the batch, I would say. The first one, oddly enough, is actually quite easy. There's a bit of a standable terrain you can jump onto and you can actually just jump straight up. And then the last one is a fairly good indicative slope. Whereas this one that we're working on, I still have a little bit of an issue with today. You know, Death King gets it quite nicely, just needs to get the last slope out. Seems a little too far forward on the... So there's a nice seam.
Okay.
There's a very nice seam in the ice where two of the ice flats come together, and if you slope off of that, you get all of the height in the world for this.
Yes, that was what I was going to recommend. Is I think it's really nice if you're not completely comfortable with this. You know, if you've got some visual cue that's looking at the wall, then great. But like, I like to look down and at the wall that I'm sloping off of, so I can see exactly where it is the steepest, and that's where you're going to get the most height. Yep, that's it.
There we go.
Nice. All right. So we are out, and we are in go mode on Death King's side. Just needs to head through labs, with that last Shorelines artifact. And then what? We can pretty much save warp, dip into Magmore really quick, and we're done.
So this is a bit of an interesting routing option, right? So we know we have an artifact in Aether. Do you go to Aether and continue through labs to get to Ice Ruins East? Or do you do Aether and return out? Because... Oh yeah,
Death King's not done Thardis yet. So no, yeah, I think you do Aether and you turn around, go do Thardis, and then go do Ice Ruins East. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And hopefully, if Death King knows the dash to skip Thardis, then you can go to the Cumon elevator, which takes you back into Magmore, and then you just route forward to your TTA artifact.
Reggie, our tracker, disagreeing, but I'm with you, TGC. I do think backing out of labs is slightly more efficient. Always interesting trying to figure out these optimal routes through places. Lots of different variables.
Yeah, because we have plasma, we have bombs, we have thermal. The fight with Thardis is kind of straightforward. You have missiles, you have supers. I think you're probably still faster doing Thardis than...
Well, we have to do Thardis. That's the reason, is we have to do Thardis.
Do we?
No, oh wait, he's not an artifact. What am I talking about?
Yeah, like Cumon.
Okay, never mind. Now I think Labs is better. I'm sorry. For some, I'm like getting seed bleed from whenever Thardis was required in some seed or another. Okay, no, I would just do Labs. For some reason, I was thinking we had to do Thardis and Aether and Ice Ruins East, but that's nonsense. All right, I switched sides. Sorry, TGC. It's a preview of next week.
God damn it, Greens. God damn it. But no, like, it's one of these ones that I think would be interesting enough to actually, not necessarily time test, but a time test would be good to see, because going from Aether to go through Control Tower where you have to skip the fight, you can't just power through. You've got Observatory, which you need to like fight the pirates to unlock the door, and then you have the front of Labs, which you need to fight your way through as well to get out. Like, all these little bits kind of add up, and then it's a question of, does fighting Thardis with Plasma actually be faster than all of those increments? Like, I don't have the answer for that one.
I think if you can do reverse Thardis skip though, I think you're in business. But there's not that many people that go for that. We saw Frost attempt it in his race earlier this week, almost got it. Unfortunately, falling off the tunnel there, or the morph trail there.
That morph track is actually horrible to do. I have not done it vanilla in so long, and I just don't want to do it. Vanilla.
The trick jump is way easier than actually doing this vanilla, yeah. This little stupid ramp right at the start is the worst part. Camera doesn't always help you either. There we go.
There we go.
And yet we are just gonna head straight through Labs.
So welcome back, PowerPoint chat.
Oh, PBs were in Control Tower. How did I miss that? Oh my gosh. That's really bad for Zeke, honestly. Because PBs unlock a lot of stuff, and we know that none of it is required.
Yeah, that is actually really bad. It depends on what Zeke does here, though, as well. Well, yeah, I think this is going to be really bad for Zeke because Zeke's going to go back and get the hint about Phazon Suit, but then it's going to be a world tour for Plasma at that point.
Gravity is lacking Plasma. Although now that we have PBs, it's possible that PBs are lacking Gravity. So maybe Gravity's in Upper Mines or one of the non-Plasma locked Lower Mines ships.
Yeah, it looks like Zeke is going to take a safe to save at Observatory. Or not, at Courtyard, sorry. Now, does Zeke have all artifacts, or is he missing one?
I would guess Zeke has them all.
Yeah, so it might just be Tracker taking its time. Yep. Now, where is Zeke going? Because, like, Zeke is
the
heading
debris
somewhere.
elevator?
Is this faster than just taking a save walk to landing site? I guess we're maybe not going for hint.
Yeah, I mean, if he does far fen right now, that's actually really good for him. Nope.
Nope. Into mines by the looks of it. Or debris elevator. I don't think Zeke ever checked Plasma processing. He only went as far as workstation itself. I like the light blue trimming on the Phazon suit from Death King. So many nice colours that show up with the Phazon suit. Yep, looks like Zeke is going to head through the debris elevator. While Death King makes short work of these pirates with charged plasma. Always a good feeling. Yep, and Death King will be heading towards their second to last artifact.
Yes, we did see training chamber. I think from both sides. Yeah, just the tank.
Yeah, we managed to find Wave immediately before training chamber, so both runners have done the visual checks for that. Now Zeke is going to find their Phazon suit.
So awkward. It's like, time to go get my Phazon suit hint. Oh wait, I guess I don't need it. What am I doing now? This is like not when you expect to have to like adjust your route on the fly, but
yeah, like Zeke's probably going through the motions in his head where he's like, right, I'll go do Ridley, I'll get my hint, I'll route the Phazon suit, then I need to consider where everything is, where can Plasma be, what have I got, power bombs that might be there, and then you just walk into Phazon suit and you're like, well, scrap that entire book.
See, if I'm Zeke here, unfortunately my answer is I'm gonna go PPC. We saw that elevator right at the start.
Yeah.
We have ice, we have PBs. PBs are the latest thing I found. But unfortunately, that is not where Plasma is today.
Now Death King picks up their 5th artifact, and potentially is just looking to do... I was thinking they were maybe going to do Thardus, but guess not. Because they took the upper path there. No, it looks like Death King is just going to power through.
I should know where this elevator goes, and I don't think this one's useful to us right now.
No. This one takes them back into... Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just want to save warp. Like, it's really not that slow to dip into... we have the Twin Fires elevator available to us in the Talon Canyon. Just head in there, grab our artifact, come right back, and we're done. Yeah, Death King I think is not aware that you can have more than 14 E-tanks and have them do things. Because again, like melting that ice but then not picking up the E-tank. Kind of surprising to me. If not for that, I suppose.
So Death King is accidentally limiting themselves to what? Oh, where's a calculator? I'm bad at maths.
-3 divided by 4, so it's a little under 3 E-tanks.
Yeah, so 14 times 25 is 350 health plus your initial. 25, 24. So just under 4. Just over 3 tanks. Just under 400 health. Which, to be honest, is kind of... I would say that's a comfortable amount. Not all runners would say like 3 tanks plus 2 suits is comfortable. We are only working with 20% damage reduction here as well. But yes, it definitely looks like Zeke is going to chase those power bombs, which is extremely unfortunate. Because as we've discovered, power bombs do nothing this entire seed. Nice to have.
Yeah, no, this is a very reasonable play on Zeke's end here. Chasing your logic, your last, the thing farthest in the logic chain is often going to give you good results. But sometimes that's not how the seed played out.
Forget how aggressive the red HUD colour can be when you hit lava. And everything just flashes red. Now the other thing is, I don't know if Death King is remembered they have Spinball active as well. I don't think I've seen Death King use it.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Oh, never mind.
There we go.
Speak of the devil. You in chat, Death King? You listening to us?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Oh. Oh gosh, I'm an idiot. Yes, you do not chase these power bombs.
That is a very good point. Yeah. I always forget that is a plasma check.
Yeah, because everyone does that trick, but that trick is not in beginner.
Could you argue that it might be worth moving to beginner? Or do you think the fact that the crates are destructible is a bit too finicky for beginner?
Could see the case either way. It's one of those, like, it's probably harder than some beginner tricks, but also it's, like, so meta that, like, everyone's kind of going to learn it pretty early on, usually, just because it's, like, such a good thing to know.
Because there's multiple ways to do the standable, because there's you can actually stand on the gate or the fence itself as well. Which is, I would say, a lot easier than just the YOLO jumping aiming version. But no, Death King here, 6 artifacts, all beams, phase on suit, returning to the landing site will take their safety save, refilling all their ammunition, and head off to fight the metal chicken. And, oh, no, it's just going straight into the fight. Fair enough.
Yeah, these are not the... Like, this is actually a somewhat scary Ridley fight. We only have 20% damage reduction. We're sitting on, what, 2 full E-tanks, essentially, right now? Like, our health isn't very good.
Yeah. Like, I would definitely take the save here, just because Ridley, if Ridley decides to dash at you, and sometimes it can be really awkward angles that you have to dodge, you're going to be hit like a truck, to be honest. Granted, we do have all the tools to make it a really fast Ridley fight. We have supers, we have plasma, we have boost ball.
Yeah, there's really not many multiplications. Interesting. Classic gravity in cargo free.
Have you actually seen that happen at all this round?
I want to say so, but I could be just thinking of older seeds or seeds that I've played on my own. I don't know.
We've sadly not had a space jump at cargo free.
Oh, that's disgusting.
So Death King is just sitting idle, charging up the boost ball. Ridley is super weak to boost ball. When you boost into Ridley, it does a mass amount of damage to him, depletes his health bar. Would knock him out if it wasn't for the fact that there was a damage cap on his first phase. And now Ridley is now into the ground phase.
So the most runners up for missile charge, power beam and missile spin.
And Ridley is dashing, but we've got enough distance between Ridley and ourselves that we can dodge quite nicely. I find the plasma beam is very hard to aim the snipes.
Yeah, it like seems like it should be easier because it is a faster projectile, but yeah, something about it.
I think probably it's hitbox. Like charge beam, probably like the orb has a wider hitbox to actually connect, whereas charge beam is like a straight line. But we do get a snipe. And the chest plate has gone boom.
Fight with not much health entering, but actually I think he ended up with more health than he entered the fight with the drops. Didn't really take a hit at all.
So I really do hope to see at least a safety save and impact crater from Death King at least.
I would agree. Yeah, this Exo fight is not trivial. Oh, and all this ice slot. Yeah. That came to Logico a while ago too. Those are all kind of trash locations for gravity.
Yeah, and they're all at different corners of the game world as well. So welcome to the dentist's office, everybody. And Death King is going to take the safety save. Nice
That's
to see.
Good. Yeah, that should pretty much solidify this. Death King will now have a couple attempts here, I think, to pull this off, because it'll be a while, I think, before Zeke makes it to this plasma, unfortunately.
Death King is going to go for the slope jump and quick climb here. Hopefully doesn't get pestered too much by Jack and Jill.
Yeah, unfortunately we have no power bombs to one-shot these Vision Metroids, so hopefully they aren't too troublesome for us, whether in here or during the Essence fight.
That is actually something that is going to be very awkward during the Essence fight as well. You're going to have to spend time shooting the Metroids with the Phazon beam.
Yep.
Because they will do a large chunk of damage if they grapple you. The bombs take a bit of time to actually dislodge them, so you will be taking all of that damage.
Yeah, I don't mind, for the Hunters and the regular Metroids, I don't mind ice missile strats either. Doesn't be that cool. It's kind of nice.
Now CZeke doing the right thing and dispatching Calvin. All of our homies have disagreements with Calvin. Whereas Death King is having a one-on-one argument with a alien traveling creature which has 7 limbs. Why? I don't know. It does.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! So Death King, the one check I was lamenting us skipping was this craft suit. That would have saved Death King a little bit of trouble in Gravity Chamber, but also might have led him to do things like Frigate. So I don't even know if it was worth if it was good
Silver lining?
or not. Yeah. It would be giving us 30% extra damage reduction in this fight, which is not insubstantial with the low health situation.
Well, it does look like Death King is being nice and easy using the scars in the ground here to dodge Prime as it charges over. Isn't going to go for any kind of like run by hard shots. Just going to take it nice and easy, be safe, which is probably the smart way to do it. Especially when you think you're capped at 14 times here.
Yep, Exo skipping right over him while he's hiding in the holes. Pretty sure that's what the trick's name for, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Skipping Exo hitting you like a truck.
Yeah.
Those notches in the ground are just tall enough that Samus can stand out them waist deep, and Exo will fly over the top. Though don't go into the centre one here, like you will not conduct your Exo skip by standing in the centre one.
And the tail often drags you out of it and then pops you.
The Exo skip isn't exactly an easy trick here. You did just see Death King get bonked once by one of the Talons. Now, something that is very important in this fight is the orbs that Exo spawns deal with them. When you are so limited on your health pool, those orbs will chunk you. They will do a lot of damage.
Yeah, the plasma ones in particular, since they do all the orbs do strong on contact damage. Plasma ones apply damage at the time of them as well. Definitely need to avoid those when you're in a low health situation.
Death King is into sub-chamber 4 here, where the Simon says it gets a little bit hectic. Simon doesn't know what it wants to say in this situation, but keeps changing his mind.
But Exo did the orb attack and then no orbs came out.
It changed colour immediately. It kind of does the same punching motion as if it's about to do orbs, as it's changing suit colour.
Gotcha. Nice shots with the air beam there. Definitely the most difficult beam to land those charge shots with. Yeah, with the bonus damage, does do pretty good damage when you're able to end them. You're expecting those orbs. This gold drop will refill 40 times for us.
Nice to see that. Oh no, it was Wave Buster that was in Vent Shaft, not a Metroid.
Yeah, Death King doing a really nice job managing this fight.
Yep. More health bar left. Exo is definitely getting a little bit more aggressive in this final phase. Oh, a quick change just as the super missile launches.
R past R14 and but down goes Exo. Get some health refills here from Essence. Top ourselves off.
And Zeke will be conducting the Sen Dynamaze here for an E-Tank. presumably will be taking a save warp out after this if they are pulling through with the maze itself.
Trolled by that dead end there. I always hate when I go into a dead end. It's like, oh no. He's just too smart for me.
And here we are at Essence. Now, top tip for Essence is don't move. When you spawn into the chamber, just stay where you are. Just dodge the AoE, and she'll progressively just push towards you. Makes the fight a lot easier in the initial phase.
Quick coolness. Another tip is that Essence likes to spawn on the opposite side of the pool from you. So as long as you stay, if you put the pool between you and the carcass, that means Essence will spawn far away from the carcass, which is what you want. And we gotta figure out a plan for these Metroids. It's gonna just use the pool. Unfortunately, it gets bopped out as Essence is kind of camping the pool there. It's latched onto the Metroid. You love the Metroid's little invincibility things, and you even to the phase on beam while they're sitting there, well, eating themselves.
We'll be using the phase on to dispatch the Hunter Metroids.
That was a really poorly timed scream from Essence there. There's still a Hunter Metroid behind, definitely.
Yeah, there we go.
Uncomfortably low on health here. About tanks left. We'll probably be seeing. I don't like that move backwards now. Hopefully it's fine. Yeah, that was a cool skip. Shoot.
Now, in this situation, I always find that it's good to run to the very back of the room. Essence will always try to advance on your position, and the further away from Essence you are, she will come towards you, meaning she's stepping away from the carcass.
Yeah, there's also a little root way in the back there that you can stand on, and it will dodge all the shockwaves for you. You still have to watch out if she gets really close and does that scream, she can still hit you.
Death King is playing a little bit of chicken here because there is a possibility that Essence will be too close to the carcass again and will potentially pull skip a second time. Oh, lucky enough.
Here, on the Hunters especially, I like just using the Ice Beam strats. You really don't want to let these guys stay around. Okay, but we're through. Should be able to finish off here, so we can do a little bit of pool canceling. After the attack cancels, this may still be enough anyways, and it is.
There we go.
Get your GG's in chat for Death King. Wraps up 135-19. And secures a second win in these Swiss rounds. Which will be end of the line for both runners, but always nice on Death King's side to go out on the W.
Yep, so we'll get invites out to the Death King and get them in for an interview if they so wish. And CZeke has issued the forfeit on their end as well.
So we will extend an interview offer to both runners, see if they want to hop in here.
As we get the runners in here, I'm going to nip away just quickly. I'll BRB.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, well played on Zeke's side as well. Unfortunately, choice to skip Farfen did result in the Plasma Beam not turning up for him. And we're joined by Death King. Welcome in, GG's.
GG's.
And Zeke is here as well. GG's.
Was it under Warrior Shrine?
No, it
No.
was in Gravity
Gravity.
Chamber.
Oh, for crying out loud. Of course, it was Plasma. It could only have been the underwater one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, that was stupid.
So what was pointed out to me, I missed this at first, was that Control Tower is plasma locked. So those PBs could never have been locking plasma.
Interesting.
Yep.
Good thing I never found PBs.
Yes,
so
I was pretty sure that it was plasma locked, but I wanted whatever it was anyway.
Yeah, but then like I guess chasing those into doing checks like PPC and whatnot after you'd find the phase on suit, like you're never gonna find plasma there.
Yeah, but there were still plenty of not. Oh, yeah, actually not from that entrance, but main quarry was accessible, so it was still possible for plasma to be in mines.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. No, the play into PPC was not unreasonable. It just unfortunately that gravity.
So how did you do, Death King? Did you die at all?
I died 2 times at the beginning.
I only died once. It cost me about 10 minutes. So
it was pretty
resetting
even for
for
both
stupid.
of you. Yeah, it was a
easy
tough
to
start
die.
for both of you. Yeah. Magmore is not free, especially with only an E-tank or so, which even with a 3 you found in Talon, that only gets you up to your starting health normally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah. Same. I mean, maybe I was just lucky because I thought I lost so much time. I have to try some things.
Yeah, I think from the race there wasn't a whole lot of divergence at the beginning. You were both kind of very much railroaded into your Magmore, into kind of Chozo. You both found your wave beam. There wasn't really much of a distance between the two of you. So when Zeke did end up with the death, there was a lot of time kind of lost. But Death King, you were only a few rooms really behind because you decided to be a little bit more aggressive and skip the Talon E-tanks just to try and make up some time. But the divergence really came down to that once you'd both finished Chozo, Death King, you decided to go into mines. Whereas Zeke, you had gone into Fendrana, which at the time, from our perspective, the Fendrana play felt a lot better because that's where your artifacts were. You were going to get to your 6 artifacts a lot quicker. Whereas for yourself, Death King, it felt like kind of there was so few things for you there, but obviously you took the save warp out at Sendina. But just because of that kind of passageway and the fact that Zeke, you got your artifacts a lot earlier and then started dipping out from there, Death King, you stumbled onto the plasma from doing that kind of Farfen loop, and I think that just kind of shaped up the end there, because you had your phase-on suit already, you found your plasma, you were in your go mode, where Zeke was still looking for plasma. Funnily, was routing back to get the phase-on suit hint and stumbles straight into it, and then all of a sudden the world changes for Zeke, because the power bombs obviously were quite a red herring.
Yes. Yeah, I was lucky to find Phazon suit. That saved me the trouble of trying to fighting Ridley without plasma to get the hint. So I could ignore that from then on. But I considered Farfen. I really did consider it. But the trouble is, in case you didn't notice, Gravity was in Phazon mines. So if you logically you had to go to mines first and then come back to Farfen to get your plasma.
Which was actually kind of funny, because we commented that the one logical check that Death King didn't do during their phase-on trip was the gravity suit check we discovered from yourself, Zeke.
Yeah, and I can escape lower from the grav chamber, but I haven't, I don't know it very well. So I that's part of the reason that I decided not to do Farfen, because it would be, if I happened to find gravity, it would be easier after that. But I still would have been a while, because that Magmore check, the Under Warrior Shrine, was haunting me, and I was probably going to go for that next.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although I guess, by the same thinking with, if you were aware that Control Tower strat that everyone does with the missile isn't a beginner, that
Right.
upper fiery shores wasn't ever going to be plasma either.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, no, I definitely missed that in the moment.
Yeah, I would have missed that in the moment as well. I'm so used to that it feels like it's a beginner trick, and I would completely forget the plasma, completely lock the power bomb side of things.
Yeah. Though, fun fact, it is in logic without space jump if you have bombs and plasma, because you can bomb up to the window.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Well, anyway, that was pretty tiring. I don't want to keep everybody too long.
Yeah.
All right then. GG Zeke.
GG Death King, good job.
GG.
Any final thoughts from yourself, Death King?
Oh, I should try to play with different modes a little bit more next time.
Oh, so I don't know if Baha had asked about this, about the energy situation. So when you got to your 14 E-tanks on the HUD, you stopped collecting E-tanks. Were you aware that you can go above the 14 E-tank energy that is indicated on the HUD? Or did you think you were hard capped to the 14?
I only noticed it at Prime.
Ouch. I
But
did
thought,
joke in the chat
so
that
many hits, still
I-
full. Why? Oh, okay.
I joked on the Discord that the game this week would be seeing who that happened to, but I didn't actually wish it on anyone. So my final thoughts are the novelty categories, let's just make them optional next time, okay, folks? Let the rest of us play the game like men.
I guess what were your thoughts on the variety of presets we had this year, Death King?
I like them.
All right, mixed signals.
I mean, I'm used to play different randomizers, and with the different randomizers, I often play mystery, so I don't know which options come.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
I mean, I'm used to something like this.
I think I, from a personal standpoint, like the fact that there's a mixture of different presets here because it gets people to do things differently. It challenges people, it puts them in kind of like new shoes from there, which is always good to see. Because if we see the same weekly preset, for example, just kind of non-stop, it gets to the point where like you've almost seen it all.
yeah,
it's
I'll
good to
grant
kinda
that it's been
fresh
great
up.
entertainment. It must have been great for the viewers.
Oh yeah, I think the viewers have loved it this year. But no, it's one of those things that I'd like to see what other possible presets we could do in future if we ever want to revisit this design philosophy, I guess, for the tournament. But yeah, if there are no final thoughts, let's take a look at the calendar and see what is coming up. I believe there is a race currently ongoing. I think there was one that started 1 hour after this. Yep, so there is the Aero Razor versus Samuel 6710, which should be or is currently ongoing. And I believe that is actually our last possible match of the tournament. So by the end of today, we will have all of our matches ticked, and we should know what our top 8 will be finalised as. Let me just double check and make sure there isn't a match missed.
No, I think you're correct. Yeah, the very last match is on right now. What channel is that? That's going to be on SpeedGaming 4. You feel free to pop on over there after this wraps up here.
Yes, and it is, as Uncle Reggie in chat says, it is a very important one because the Sam versus Aero match actually does have impacts to the last few slots of the top 8 bracket. Top 8 is not completely set in stone. Those two players, depending on who wins that match, could change who manages to make the last few slots there. So definitely jump over there after this race is concluded, or once we close up shop, and we'll cheer on whoever it is you wish to see win that race. But no, other than that, just want to say thank you, Baha, for joining me on commentary.
It was a pleasure. Thank you,
Yes,
Reggie,
you guys
for
popped
doing
in
the
on very
track
short
for us.
notice. Good job.
Yeah, happy to help.
Yeah, and thanks to the runners. Make sure you follow the runners with the see the exclamation mark R is in chat, and if you want to follow my co-com and tracker Uncle Reggie, the exclamation mark C is also there.
Oh, is
no,
that
no.
exclamation point T now as well? I didn't actually notice they split them up.
Oh,
But yes, yeah, do give the runners a follow. Nice job throughout the tournament, adapting to the various challenges we and Randomania threw their way. Yeah, I think we will wrap up here. So yeah, head on over to SpeedGaming 4 for our final match of Swiss.
And join the Discord. We have a lot of fun in this community.
Yeah, it's a nice community. Lots of folks happy to help explain the game, how to set it up, all that stuff. If you're ever interested in giving this a shot yourself, that's how I got into the community. Was watching the tournament, saying maybe I could do this too.
yeah.
And,
And there is a lot of multi-world activity as well. There's a lot of people looking to do not necessarily competitive racing, but just generally sitting down, playing randomizers, playing multiplayer randomizers as well. So if that is up your alleyway, definitely get involved in the Discord. But yeah, I think that is us. So we'll close up shop here, and we'll wish everybody a good evening, the rest of the evening. And we will see you in I want to say a few weeks. I'm not exactly sure how much of a break we will be having, but the top 8 bracket will be starting in, as Reggie says in chat, 1.5 weeks from here. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll be seeing you next mission.
Yep.
take care, everybody.